Hello, fellow hobbyists. I thought I lost this thing, but it's kind of like when you wear sunglasses and you forget where you put them, and they turn out to be on your head. You know you've done that. Anyways, this was just hanging by the charging cable in a nest of cabling. It wasn't on the floor. I just assumed if I dropped this, it would end up on the floor, but it was just hanging. So that's why I missed it, and I ordered another one. But if you do see a design like this, these little round, things go tighten, loosen. This works fine. I've had this for a few years now. I suppose if you were to nitpick, this has a micro connector, not the Type C, the older style, but it's pretty good. Before I even had that, I had this Xiaomi Wow Stick, and this is okay. It's just that it takes these AAA's, and AAA's are 1.5 volts, so two of those would be a 3-volt system. But LiPo packs are 3.7 volts, so I feel like this is a little bit more powerful. But if you're in an area where you don't think you're going to be having access to a USB cable to charge something, this Wow Stick might make sense. It does have this easy to use coin. You can open that with a coin. But, it's wasteful to use alkalines, and I've put those Eneloop rechargeables in there, but those nickel metal hydride batteries tend to lose their charge pretty fast. So maybe I'll do some lithium AAA's one day. Yeah, that's a different story. Anyway, since I lost this, and this is a different location, I went and bought this online on AliExpress, like most of the things I buy. And let's see what it's all about here. Alright, so this does have a Type C. It's going to come with some common bits, it looks like, at least PH000 to 1, although not a 2. Anyways. Any hobbyists, I think it's worthwhile to have a little precision screwdriver like this, taking electronics apart or whatnot. But for me, I usually just take models off their stands. Alright, obviously the box is a little crushed, maybe not the best type of outlet to be buying gifts, AliExpress. A lot of the stuff just doesn't show up in pristine condition. Alright, this thing's actually got a little bit of a charge here. I'm going to charge this up after I talk about it a little bit, so we have a fair comparison of what the power is like. So I didn't see any instructions, but this tightens it. Interesting. You see these other two? This shaft spins, right? What I'm touching. Same with even the Wow Stick. You can see it even more. This one is not. It's spinning inside of there. So that might be a stronger design. I'm not sure because it's coloring the whole thing. If you're trying to torque it, which you probably shouldn't do. So this way would loosen, and that has an LED, 3 LEDs. So that's a nice touch that the other one. Does the Wow Stick have LEDs? No, this one doesn't. So that's a nice upgrade from the other two that I have. And then the cable charge port here is on the back. I can see 2 screws through this clear cover. Comes with a really short charge cable. Alright, let's see if there's a light or anything. Yeah, it's got a red LED in there when it's charging. Does it flash? No, it's just red. One would assume it either changes color or it just turns off when it's done charging. So here are those bits. A few torques and stuff. They're clearly labeled, which is nice. I never have a need for torques that small, but if you're into electronics, and this is interesting, is a 3-lobe like security kind of screw. I don't know what comes with those other than Microtex, but those are 3 dots. Alright, anyways, I'm not going to use those. What I thought I'd do is a test of screwdriving speed and power. So here's some balsa wood, which is really easy to put through. By the way, if you don't know what this is a magnetizer / demagnetizer. So if you want to magnetize something, you would slide it in. If you want to add magnetism, you slide it back and forth through this a few times. Yeah, well. And then if you want to demagnetize, you rub it against the top. But you gotta do that a bunch of times. Alright, I guess it's nice, but there you have a bunch of those. I wonder, well, it actually work plugged in, so I guess maybe we can just continue on with this. So I have a number 2 size here, and I have this short screw. So we're gonna just first, I guess we should try the wow stick. Said I don't have 3 of these bits, that is, and I didn't even think to compare this wow stick, but see, it's struggling. 3 volts, I don't know, just so wow stick, not good. This is probably a larger screw this is intended to be used for. I mean, it's a precision driver, but now you can see though the power of lithium, right? So that's a good comparison as to why you may want to skip over something powered by regular alkaline batteries. It's just not as powerful as a lithium. So I have no doubt that this is going to work perfectly fine with the same screw here, being a same voltage system. Look at that, I am totally wrong. Granted, it's not charged. Or is it? The light went off. I have to wait while this thing charges. So it turns out the light just goes out when it's fully charged. Now we know. I looked back at the packaging, and this light button, if you long press it, it'll change the speed. So that's an interesting feature that I did not expect at all. So let me just show you here. I'll put in this number 2 Phillips again. So if I hold this down, it'll start spinning, telling you a change speed. That's the high speed. You can just hear the pitch is different. Alright, so maybe now that it's fully charged, maybe it has the torque at the low speed to get through this balsa wood. No, it doesn't. I'm going to change it to high speed. No, this just isn't strong. It's not a strong motor. Granted, these are not designed to be drilling a wood screw that tight, but I will say in its defense, this thing can do it no problem. It's quite impressive. Right? Also was a pretty soft wood, but I'm a little curious. This is pine wood, which is still a soft wood, but it's a lot denser than balsa wood. I put a little pilot hole in here somewhere, right here, and let's see if we can drill. I'll screw this thing in. Yeah, that stops. Yeah, you're gonna want a real hand drill if you're gonna be drilling into wood. This is more for hobbies and electronics work. Okay, so with that said, we know for sure this round one is a much more powerful system. But, you know, for hobbies, you don't want a powerful drill, because if you actually try to screw your screw back into your plastic bodied electronics or model, it might strip out the hole. So maybe that's why this isn't strong, because the intention is to not strip out the hole that these plastic screws are going into. So that's why on this one, I never use this to actually put the screws back into my models, because I know it's quite strong. So there's good and bad, right? But if you're looking for something strong, go with this. But let's continue on with this. One thing that is nice about this is it's not going to roll away so easily, because it's got flat sides. Whereas this one, you know, that could roll off a table, which it did, and I thought I lost the thing. Right? So, alright. Boy. Let's just try a little thin screw. We're gonna need maybe the pH0? Yeah, pH0 will work for this. I don't know what speed I'm on right now. Well, I did manage to get that screw in there, and now that's kind of the tension I would expect if this was actually screwed into electronics. Now let's go to slow speed. Yeah, so slow speed is for really delicate or small screws. So now you might be curious, how big are these things? This is a 3mm screw. The first one was 3.2, probably meant to be a 3.5 or something, 3.3. Alright. Well, I don't know what else to say. I don't have any electronics I need to take apart. I guess you're just going to maybe see this in some of my 1/64 scale videos as I remove them from the plastic boxes the models are generally screwed to whenever that happens. But I will say, it's low power for models. That's a good thing. It's kind of neat that it has the LED, and it's kind of neat that it has 2 speeds. So only time will tell if this thing is powerful enough to remove very small screws from plastics. So not the greatest review. I realize that. I'm not paid to do this stuff. Well, I guess technically I am. I might make 2 cents in 10 years from YouTube for doing this video. I consider most of my videos philanthropy work. Okay, well, I will see you guys later. And interesting to know such variations in strength and power. And the Wow Stick, yeah, it's not very powerful either. You might like the fact that it's not recharged by a cable. We'll see you around. I actually have another one on order. We'll have to see how that fares later.